Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of, this is for the rest of 2024. You have this Pisces card. It says boundaries. It says set and honor your boundaries to avoid being taken advantage of. It also says time is up, no second chances, no revisiting. There's something better waiting. So there clearly could be something better coming into your life. You have the Four of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. So this could be love, but the thing about the Four of Wands is that the Four of Wands is really a card of freedom, and it's also a portal card. We have a portal right in the middle there, and so the Four of Wands is a card of completion. It can come up when we are completing a project, a certain stage in our life, pretty much anything. So I feel for a lot of you that the Four of Wands is kind of saying that you are in a time of completion and you're getting ready to move on to a new stage. And we also have all four aces. I have not seen that in a very long time. So you have all four aces. Four aces is an energy of a new beginning for sure, and kind of like stepping into something new. I think it's also interesting that you have this card here, which also has a portal right in the middle. So you are clearly in a time where you are starting something new, or you're about to step into a new time. And this reading looks amazing here, Taurus. I love it. So you start off with the Four of Wands, and absolutely sure, if you want love, absolutely could be coming into your life. It looks to me like you could be attracting like a fire sign or someone with fire in their chart. You have a lot of fire here. So again, if you want a commitment or love, then there could be a new commitment coming in for you. I feel like it's at a time where, again, you have this time is up card. And so I feel like you are in a time where you are about to make a change. I almost feel like up until this point, where whenever you watch it, if you watch it in 2024, it's like, before you watched this video, I feel a hectic pace, a lot going on, you having a lot to do. It's like, I even see you in your head. It's like you're checking things off, But I kind of feel like the Four of Wands is almost talking about multiple things that you are checking off that are kind of like freeing up your time, if that makes sense. So, like, let's say your kids are moving out of your house, for example. I think that, like, if your kids are moving out, then you could have a lot more free time, or you could have a lot more that you could be doing. And that's just, like, one example. I think there are other things, obviously. Like, not all of you have kids. So, but it's like there are big things that are being checked off, and that's kind of how I feel. Not just about the Four of Wands, really, but pretty much everything. You have the Ace of Cups. With four aces here, like, I feel like this is like a major upgrade that's coming into your life, or you are about to upgrade your life in some way. The other thing that's really standing out to me that I can't stop looking at it. So usually if there's a card that stands out to me in a reading, it's like your most important card in the reading. And it's the Three of Pentacles for me in your reading. And the thing about the Three of Pentacles is that we have a fire triangle at the top, and then we have this water triangle right below the fire triangle. The water triangle kind of represents adding just a little bit extra to whatever it is that you're working on. So if you're working on any new projects with four aces, any new beginnings, any new businesses or new relationships, that Three of Pentacles kind of says it would be a good time to add just like that little bit of extra, Taurus flair to whatever you're doing, and just going just a little bit above and beyond. We're not talking about like over delivering like a crazy person. We're just talking about like what is something that you could add to the things that you're working on, or even if you're trying to like improve your health or something else in your life. Is there just a tiny little bit extra that you could add that would really make all the difference in the world? And again, clearly the answer is yes. I think you're gonna have to discover what that thing is that you could add that's extra, but I really see all these aces as kind of like an upgraded life, or stepping into a time of an upgrade. Ace of Cups could obviously be love. You have the Ace of Swords as well. I think that you are in a time where you are living your truth, or you are trying to live more in alignment with your truth. So if you are doing things that you don't like to be doing, then I feel a strong sense of resistance. And the Ace of Swords is all about laser-like focus on your truth. And so, again, if you're, I kind of really don't feel much on the Ace of Swords. Like, it can be a victory. It could also be you completing something with the Four of Wands. But, I kind of feel this is saying that the most resistance you will feel right now is towards things that you really just don't want to be doing, right? And so I see you kind of like removing things that you don't want to do, which is probably, a good thing. With the Four of Wands, you have the Ace of Wands. How crazy is that? So a bunch of aces showing up here. The Ace of Wands would be a passionate new beginnings, and you have the Ace of Wands twice. So clearly you are moving towards something that you're very passionate about. And we also go up to the Queen of Wands. She has the Sun right next to her. The Queen of Wands is holding on to that one wand, and we could say that the wand she's holding on to is the Ace of Wands. She is wanting to be creative. She's my card in the tarot of learning as you go. And if you have an Ace of Wands new beginning, you do have to learn as you go. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. But Ace of Wands is just like a little spark of hope. It's like kind of like the spark, the initial start of the fire. But you have to keep putting wood onto the fire. You have to keep going, Queen of Wands. You have to keep moving forward to get that fire to grow. With the Ace of Cups, you have the King of Swords. Yeah, I feel you're attracting new love, and I have definitely said this to you before in the past, even if you don't see it. You have the King of Swords here. The King of Swords can be a little bit more reserved or a little bit more quiet. I kind of feel like someone has their eye on you. I'm not ready to say that yet in your reading. I need to see more, but, so obviously we're going to keep clarifying, but I do kind of get the feeling that a person could have their eye on you, or a person could be interested in you. A King of Swords usually is like an older person, and if they're not older, they could be the same age or they could be younger, but usually they're a person who comes off as very mature, and I do feel that there could be new love. It could be an air sign or a fire sign. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Sun. I love it. You have a bunch of repeating cards here. Whenever we have a bunch of repeating cards, this is kind of confirmation for your path. So I look at multiple repeating cards in a reading as big time confirmation. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you at this time, you have the Synchronicity card. You also have this Heal card. It's a great time of healing. Part of this Mercury retrograde is in Virgo, so I think that it's a great time to get healthy. We also have a Mars retrograde in Leo, and whenever we have a Mars retrograde, I think the entire year, I pay attention to Mars retrograde. Pretty much, to me, the entire year, I really make extra sure that I am kind of collecting my energy, doing things that give me more energy. By the time you get to the retrograde, if you have done that, you'll have more energy. It's like Mars retrograde is notorious for sucking our energy, right? So I always like to do extra things like extra self-care, extra meditation, extra whatever you do, because that will give you more energy to carry you through the end of the year, which I would definitely do. The synchronicity thing, again, I think we're in a time of synchronicity, so I think people are just seeing more and more synchronicities, and I would pay attention to them. And don't ask again. Sometimes I think people say, I was thinking about an idea. I saw 11:11 on the clock, but I need another sign. It's like, no, take that first sign as the sign. You have the Four of Cups, the Justice card, and the Ace of Wands. The Four of Cups is about being disappointed by the results that you're getting. I do feel like some of you are, this isn't a bad thing. I just think that sometimes, we're working on a project or an idea, and it doesn't really go according to plan or as well as we want. The Wheel of Fortune is your answer, so I feel the Wheel of Fortune is kind of providing the best bit of advice for that Four of Cups. Wheel of Fortune says that you need to move towards the trends, is what I'm hearing. So, it's like sometimes I think we work on something and, it's not trending in the right direction. It's not going up. Basically, it's going down. Or maybe what we're doing is outdated. And that's kind of the feeling I get here with the Wheel of Fortune. So if you're working on a project, make sure that you're keeping it up to date. And, if you're working on a project, make sure you're working based off the most up-to-date information. And I kind of feel that's what that's saying. You have the Justice card. I would say balance is kind of returning to your life, especially 5 aces, technically, even though 2 of them are the same. But, you have a bunch of aces in this reading, and you have a bunch of new beginning stuff. The Justice card asks you to approach things from a neutral perspective, and I think that would be a good idea for you at this time as well. Especially, with the Four of Cups, there's the cup reaching out of the cloud, and if people are coming to you with advice for what you should do in your life, I don't think you should look at it as good or bad, or this is going to work or it's not going to work. Don't make those assumptions. I think it's an amazing time for experimentation, and I've been saying this all year. So, if someone comes to you with a bit of advice for your business, you don't have to adopt it 100%, but what I would say is it might be worth taking a neutral perspective and just saying, I'm going to try it. I'll give it 30 days and I'll see how it goes. I think it would be an amazing time. That's where all the growth is going to come from. You have 5 aces, a lot of growth potential. I would say potential. To me, aces really represent the potential for something to happen. Potential means nothing. It means what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So you don't have to, the Justice card says you don't have to agree with ideas. You don't have to think they're good ideas. but it might be worth just giving something a shot and seeing how it goes with the Justice card, because you never know. You have the Ace of Wands, again, Ace of Wands out with the old and with the new. You have the Sun and the Queen of Wands as well. Both of those cards are about inspiration, and the Ace of Wands is also about kind of moving in an inspired direction. The Ace of Wands, I think, is just like a spark, the spark of hope, the spark of inspiration. And so if you're getting any sparks, I would turn those into flames, is what this reading is saying. With the 4, you cannot make this up. With the 4 of Cups, you have the Ace of Swords. I have never had a reading with this many aces that I can remember, so that's crazy. Ace of Wands is definitely a victory and a new beginning. So the Ace of Wands can say that you are kind of creating a victory over some obstacles. The Ace of Swords, I'm going to show you on the big version, it's just easier to see, but the sword is above the mountains. So it says that you will always be able to overcome any obstacles that come your way. The Ace of Swords is also about kind of balance as well. Just like the Justice card, we have these 6 golden yods on either side of the Ace of Swords, and those 6 yods are in perfect balance on the sword. So there is something about kind of like a balanced approach or a balanced perspective, or just not, kind of like just seeing how things go. With the Ace of Swords, you have the 3 of Pentacles, more repeating cards. So right here, I was getting something on this 3 of Pentacles about kind of that little bit extra, just, a little bit of an upgrade. If you have a business, is there like a tiny little low investment upgrade that you could make to the business or a project you're working on, or even a relationship that you're in? Like, is there something small? I don't even think this has to be a big thing. That's the thing. It's like, sometimes they say, what do they say? Small hinges swings big doors, right? And I kind of feel like the 3 of Pentacles is saying there are like teeny tiny little things, little improvements that would make all the difference in the world. With the Ace of Wands, yes, you have the 9 of Wands. Not surprised to see it. 9 of Wands is about throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So don't just assume that things are going to work in your business or work in your love life. I think like the more flexible and willing to explore and experiment and try new things that you can be, the better with the 9 of Wands. I also feel like this reading is kind of like saying you are obviously stepping into a very new period of time. I mean, 6 aces now, and all these aces would represent new beginnings. So the 9 of Wands could say it's like time to let your guard down, or it's time to open up. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Air card. It says, seek a union of mind and spirit. You have this Worven. It says your secrets are safe. So again, if you're worried about your secrets coming out, they're safe. You do have the Ace of Swords, which is the truth. You also have the Ace of Swords twice, which would be air. And so I think it would be a great time. We kind of said this at the beginning of the reading. It would be a great time for self-care, healing yourself, taking care of yourself, gathering your energy. So I think mind and spirit, getting those two things working together would be a good idea. You have the Sun, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ace of Pentacles. The Sun is about your attention. The Sun is the best card in the tarot. It makes the reading, more positive. This is already a very good reading. But to me, the Sun shines a light on something we need to pay attention to. To me, the Sun is meant to be a spotlight, like it's shining a light on one thing in your life. And then right next to it, you have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands has this sunflower, and sunflowers in the tarot point towards the sun. So the reading itself is literally saying that you need to move towards the sun, which is great because you're moving towards clarity, love, joy, happiness, celebration energy, good energy. And I would keep moving towards things that make you feel that way. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Definitely your fortune's turning in your favor. 6 aces is insane. So I think that for a lot of you, this could be the end of the year could be very positive for you, or you could notice some turnarounds and good things happening. And so I would pay attention to turnaround energy. I also feel that to create these turnarounds, again, the small improvements, like, any little tiny upgrades, this whole entire reading, I feel, is saying there are upgrades you can make, but this isn't going to just magically happen, right? You have to look for and study and research and look for ways to upgrade the things that you want in your life. Again, it's not going to magically happen, which I make very clear in my readings. But I always get these comments from people that are like, you said this was going to happen, nothing happened. I'm like, you answered your own question. Nothing just happens. You have to do things. You have to put the work in to find it. So, again, I would put the work in to find improvements. The reading wants you to do that. You have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is something like an opportunity that's coming in for you that has potential. I look at the Ace of Pentacles as the card of potential. Something can only grow as much as you nurture it. There's this garden right here in front of the Ace of Pentacles, and it literally represents like taking care of a garden. You have to water it, feed it, fertilize it, you have to get the weeds out of it, you have to get the bugs out of it, all that other stuff. So if you're working on anything important, I think that this row from your future self is saying the more you take care of something, the more likely it is going to be successful. With the sun, you have the King of Wands. Yes, probably a fire sign that you're attracting into your life. If it's not a fire sign, I would say it's probably someone that has a lot of fire in their chart or is very fiery. So you could be attracting a person, and I love these two together, the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. I think they have a lot of desire, a lot of attraction for each other, so definitely could be attracting love. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Five of Cups. Yeah, I would get out of your head. I would also say, don't be afraid to leave things that aren't working behind. The Justice card, right next to it pretty much says we have to be honest about the things that are working and the things that are a waste of time. I feel like this comes up for you a lot. And again, you have this card. It says time is up, right? So I think that it is time to make a wise decision about where you're investing your time. And the same thing with the Three of Pentacles. It's again, small hinges swing big doors, or whatever the saying is. Doesn't matter. It's, if you're doing something that takes a ton of effort, how can you simplify it? And if you can't simplify it, maybe it's time to do something different. And I feel like the Five of Cups is saying there's you could get better results doing other things. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is quick success. It can also represent a quick conclusion. I think that this is an opportunity that's rushing in for you in your life. And I feel like if you pay attention to the opportunity, you could be discovering ways to, again, make that small improvement that we were talking about with the Three of Pentacles. You have this Moonstruck card. It says take a breath. And you have this Past card. It says Moon Memories on it. Again, you start and you kind of end with a portal card. That Moon Memories card has that doorway on it, and I think it would be a great time for you to close out anything from the past and to move forward towards this new future. All these aces. You have the Queen of Wands, the Three of Pentacles, and the Ten of Cups. The Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going for something that you want. She has a sunflower that points towards the sun. So I would move towards things that you truly want to do. And it's sometimes I think we want to do things, but then we can't get motivated to do them, and that might be your answer, right? If you can't really get motivated to do something, maybe you're not meant to do it. But you kind of have to ask yourself the question. It's there are things that I do now that I really wasn't motivated to do, but I was just, it was more resistance that I was creating for myself. It wasn't really that I didn't want to do it. So I think you have to ask yourself the question, do I not want to do this because I really just don't want to do it? Or do I not want to do these things that could grow my life because I'm feeling resistance to success? And, again, with all this stuff about meditating or chilling out or whatever, I think it would be a good week to kind of tap in and really listen to what your body even wants. You have the Three of Pentacles, probably your most important card here. Again, every once in a while, a card really stands out to me. And in your reading, even though you have all these aces, this is the card that's really standing out to me. It said the word upgrade to me the second I put it down. So I think that your whole entire reading is about making a significant upgrade in some area of your life. I think it's small but significant. Small but mighty, right? is what I'm getting here. This isn't very much, He just did a little bit extra just to make it a little bit more fancy. And I think if you're working on any big projects or businesses or ideas or even relationships, it's what is a little bit extra that you can bring to the situation to make it better? You have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is fortune after difficulty, good things happening after a difficult period of time. If you do want love, it's an amazing card for happy home, happy family, good things coming in there. But I think that there's, clearly a lot of happiness coming in for you that you should be looking forward to. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands, Queen of Wands is all about following your enthusiasm. If something excites you, move towards it. If something gets you excited, do it. Whatever it is. Could be an idea. It could be, just something for fun, whatever. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Yes, it literally my card that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? He is looking at all the work that he is doing, and he's saying, is it worth it, or is there a better way that I could be doing things? The Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. He has already grown these Seven Pentacles, and he's just wondering if there's something else or something new that he could grow that would be better. And I think that's what you need to ask yourself. Is there something new or different or better, or a better way that I could run my business, or a better way that you could improve your health? Whatever it is, I would do it because I think you're going to be happy. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is a card of expansion and growth, and we see a ton of growth and expansion with all the aces that are encouraging you to like do something that causes growth or expansion. And just that simple. I think that this is an upgrade or upgrades that you're making in your life. You have this concentration card. Yeah, I would focus. I also feel like there's something about time in this reading. It's like, it's like, sometimes I think there are things that we don't really want to do, right? And it's like, let's say you're working on a project, you don't really want to do it. And let's also say that you have a hard time making the time to do it, or maybe you're late to something, or you're not wanting to do something. Like, I feel like those are little clues that are telling you that you're wasting your time, right? Like if you can't concentrate. So I would pay attention to that. You have this intuition card, the synchronicities card. I think you need to pay attention to the first time. Sometimes I think people ask for like more signs and then more signs and then more signs. And the universe is like I've been giving you all these signs that it's time for you to do something. And so I really feel you need to trust your intuition. You have this drama card. I would avoid drama. Mars retrograde in Leo at the end of the year. I think Mars retrograde years, even though we're not there yet, I'm doing this video in August. You might be watching it later in the year or at the end of the year when we do have the retrograde, but I would avoid drama. You have this friendship card. You could be meeting a person that like starts as a friend and then develops. This person definitely changes over time. They show up as a King of Swords, which might be how you see them right now, and then they turn into a King of Wands. So, I think that for some of you, could be starting as a friend. And finally, you have the seduction card. Yes, this person will seduce you. So I feel like you are being seduced by a person, and this could end up being a very good connection. The other thing is that the Queen of Wands is the card of seduction, and so you could be being seduced by an idea, or a business idea, or an idea for your health. It could be anything. But if something is capturing your attention, Sun, Queen of Wands, Page of Wands says move towards what is attracting you, because it's probably something good. But I like this reading. Upgrade for sure. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.